10 students, a very warm welcome to you all to Deeksha Vedantu Class 10 YouTube channel. How are you all? I hope you are doing amazing. How is your board preparation going? This is your Ekta ma'am here, your chemistry faculty. In this video, we will be doing the 33 most important questions from 10th class chemistry. These questions, yes my dear kids, these questions are very important as they might come straight in your exam. Okay, so do not skip this video. Watch till the end and solve these questions with me, my dear kids. Okay, and to find the description, PDF of this video, check in the description. You have the WhatsApp channel link. Go join that channel. You will find the PDF there. Okay, let's start. Question number 1. In order to balance the following chemical reaction, the value of X and Y is. So, you see, only water molecule and hydrogen gas you need to balance. Rest everything is balanced. Okay, so you see there are 4 oxygens on the product side, right? So we need 4 oxygens on the reactant side also. So that means we need to, the X value will be 4. The X value will be 4. And now what will be the value of Y? How many hydrogens will be there? Okay, let's start. So if 4 times 2 equals to 8, so that means there will be 8 hydrogens. That means Y will also be equal to 4. This is your correct answer, my dear kids. That's how you approach the balancing type questions. Okay, next question. When 2 ml of sodium hydroxide is added to a few pieces of granulated zinc in a test tube and then warmed at the reaction that occurs, that can be written. So the reaction between sodium hydroxide and zinc. Yes, we get a salt plus hydrogen gases evolved. Okay, so this is the balanced chemical equation, my dear kids. Moving on to the next question. Which is the correct match of the given gases with their test? NO2 gas, it gives brown fumes. Carbon dioxide gas, it extinguishes fire. Oxygen gas, supporter of combustion. SO2 gas, characteristic pungent smell, and H2 gas burns with a pop sound. So when you are approaching these type of questions, you know all the answer, right? But if you do not know the answer to some of them, so look for the one that you know. For example, NO2 gives brown fumes, so means A gives 3. So that means it will be either C or it will be D. Now let's see. B is also same for them, so you can't differentiate on B. E is also same for them. You can't differentiate on the basis of E also. So let's see, check for C and D. We know oxygen gas is a supporter of combustion. That means C will go for 4. So this option will be your correct answer. Okay. So even if you know little less, not all the match of the following question, do not worry. Try to match as many as you can and then see, check for the options. Your options are there to help. You have the answer right in the option, my dear kids. Next question. Which of the following are not examples of combination reaction? Combination reaction when one or more reactant combine to give a single product. So when you are burning coal, the product that we are getting is carbon dioxide. So this is a combination reaction. And formation of water molecule is also a combination reaction. When hydrogen and oxygen gas combines, we get a water molecule. So burning of natural gas. If you burn natural gas, which is methane, what do we get, my dear kids? We get carbon dioxide plus water plus heat and energy. Okay, so is this a combination reaction? We are getting more than one product, right? So this is not a combination reaction. So look for the option 3. Where is 3? So this is the option 3, right? So that means this is your correct answer. Respiration is also not a combination reaction, right? Glucose plus oxygen will give carbon dioxide and water plus energy is released. Okay, so that's how you approach these kind of questions, my dear kids. So when a few drops of barium chloride solution are added to an aqueous solution of sodium sulfate, a white PPT is obtained. When barium chloride, BaCl2, reacts with sodium sulfate, we get a white precipitate of barium sulfate plus NaCl is also released. This is the part of the aqueous soluble part. Okay, now write the balanced chemical equation. We have written the balanced chemical equation. Now what is the other name of this precipitation reaction? What is it called? So you see what is happening here. The other name of this precipitation reaction will be, there is an exchange of ions, my dear kids. There is an exchange of ions in between the reactants, right? So this means this is a double displacement reaction. Double displacement plus precipitation. So the other name will be double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction, my dear kids. Okay, is it going on pace? Okay, moving on to the next question. Name the type of chemical reaction which takes place when quicklime is added to water. When quicklime, what is quicklime? Calcium oxide is added to water. What do we get? We get calcium hydroxide. Plus lots of energy is released, plus heat is released. Okay, so that means it is an exothermic reaction. Also, what is this reaction? Combination reaction. It is a combination reaction as well as an exothermic reaction, my dear kids. Okay, next question. Assertion says black colored substance is formed after heating copper powder in water. So when you heat copper in water, what are we getting? We are getting copper oxide. What is the color of copper oxide? Black in color. Reasoning says copper reacts with oxygen to form black copper oxide. Yes, that is the reason. If this is the observation we are getting, the explanation for that is this reason. That copper reacted with oxygen to form copper oxide. So that means both assertion and reasoning are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Next question. When a substance X powder reacts with oxygen, on heating it forms Y, a black substance. When hydrogen gas is passed over this black substance Y, then a brown substance Z is formed. So identify X, Y, Z. Now start with what could be X that reacted with oxygen and we get a black substance Y. Think about it. We know copper oxide is black in color, right? So that means copper combined with oxygen and we got copper oxide, which is black in color. And if we added hydrogen gas, if we passed hydrogen gas through this black copper oxide, what do we get? We get copper back. What is this reaction? Addition of oxygen. This is oxidation. And what is happening here? Removal of oxygen or addition of hydrogen. That means this is reduction reaction. Okay. So we have identified what is X. X is copper, Y is copper oxide, and Z is copper. We got again, this is Z, this is X, and this is Y. Now which substance is getting oxidized, which is getting reduced? We know copper is getting oxidized and copper oxide is getting reduced. Copper is getting oxidized and copper oxide is getting reduced. Okay, my dear kids? Copper oxide, yes. So which substance is getting oxidized and which substance is getting, okay, in the formation reaction of Z. For the formation reaction of Z, yes, this is the formation reaction of Z. So in here, copper oxide is getting converted into copper. That means it is getting reduced. And hydrogen is adding one oxygen. So that means it is getting oxidized. Okay, my dear kids? Moving on to the next question. Which of the following has a chemical formula of calcium carbonate, CaCO3? What do we call calcium carbonate? Limestone has the same formula, chalk has the same formula, marble has the same formula. So which is the option? Option number 1, 4 and 5. Option number A. That is your correct answer. Next question. Sam added acetic acid to a solid substance X kept in a test tube. He observed that a colorless and odorless gas Y was evolved. So he passed this gas through lime water. Lime water turned milky. We know that gas is CO2. Which gas? Y is CO2. So we know three options are there, right? Okay, now what acetic acid, if we add something to acetic acid, what does it evolve? Carbon dioxide gas. If we add X to acetic acid, carbon dioxide gas is evolved. So that means X is either a sodium carbonate or a sodium bicarbonate. Okay, either it is a sodium carbonate or sodium bicarbonate. Sodium carbonate or sodium bicarbonate, because only these will evolve carbon dioxide gas when treated with acetic acid. So our correct answer will be B. Next question. Which of the following are not the olfactory indicators to test for acids and bases? Not the olfactory indicators. Not. So, phenolphthalein and methyl orange, they are synthetic indicators. They are not olfactory indicators, right? You do not smell anything from them. You see the change in color when you put those indicators. So, the answer is D. Next question. The aqueous solution of which one of the following salt will have a pH more than 7? pH more than 7 will be a basic salt. And which among these is a basic salt? A basic salt means when a strong base and a weak acid combine. So combination of a strong base and a weak acid, sodium hydroxide and carbonic acid, my dear kids. So that is Na2CO3. Next question. Assertion says on adding copper oxide in hydrochloric acid solution turns blue-green. Yes, when you have copper oxide and when you add HCl to it, what do we get? Copper chloride, and that is bluish-green in color. Okay. Reasoning says copper oxide and dilute hydrochloric acid on reaction form copper chloride. Yes, because of the formation of copper chloride, which is bluish green in color, the color change is observed. Okay, so that means both assertion and reasoning are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Next one, pH value increases from 7 to 14, which shows an increase in OH negative concentration. Okay, hydroxide ion concentration increase. And if the pH value is decreasing from 7 to 0, which shows an increase in hydrogen ion concentration. So see, both assertion and reasoning are true. But is reasoning the correct explanation of assertion? No, because in assertion we are talking about a base, in reasoning we are talking about an acid, which is not related at all. Okay, so both are true, both assertion and reasoning are true. Yes, when we are going from 7 to 14, the OH negative concentration is increasing, and when we are going from 7 to 0, the H positive ion concentration is increasing, right? But the reasoning does not explain the assertion. Okay, so that means your option is, correct option is B, my dear kids. Next question. Aditi added 1 mole of dilute hydrochloric acid to an aqueous solution of 1 mole of sodium carbonate. Now write the balanced chemical equation. So when you have sodium carbonate and you add dilute HCl to it, what do we get? A salt plus sodium hydrogen carbonate plus sodium hydrogen carbonate. So this is the balanced chemical equation and the color change. So red litmus paper will turn blue. Why? Because we are getting a base out of it. Second, there will be no effect on blue litmus paper. Okay, because we are getting a base, and this base will convert the red litmus into blue. Okay, and there will be no effect on the blue litmus paper. Next question. Why is acidified water considered to be ionic, a good conductor of electricity? Because it has ions, right? When we are talking about electricity, we talk about two things, ions and electrons. If either of these things is present, your solution will conduct electricity. Okay, so when acidified water we are talking about, it has H positive ions. Acidified water have H positive ions, and that's why it is a good conductor of electricity. Write a chemical equation showing the ionic products formed on dissolving potassium hydroxide in water. So whenever you dissolve potassium hydroxide in water, it gives OH negative and K positive. OH negative and K positive. Okay, next question. Rohan adds a highly reactive metal in a test tube containing water. Okay, so if he added Na, let's say highly reactive metal, this is a base, right? So that means the pH of the solution will increase or decrease? Yes, it will increase, my dear kids. I hope you are getting all the correct answer. Okay, you are solving with me, right, my dear kids? Next question. Calcium and magnesium starts floating after reaction with water, because calcium and magnesium, when you treat them with water, they do evolve hydrogen gas, yes, but this hydrogen gas sticks around the metal and thus making the metal float. So the correct answer is A. Bubbles of hydrogen gas formed stick to the surface of metal and thus your metal starts floating. These are the bubbles of hydrogen. Next one, which of the following statements are not true about aqua regia or royal water? So what is aqua regia? It is 1:3 mixture of concentrated HNO3, nitric acid and concentrated hydrochloric acid. 1 part concentrated nitric acid and 3 parts concentrated hydrochloric acid. So focus on the question. The question says which of the following is not true about aqua regia? Not true. Okay, so it is a freshly prepared solution of concentrated HCl and concentrated HNO3. Yes, it is. It is present in the ratio of 1:3 as part 1 of concentrated HCl and 3 parts of concentrated HNO3. Oh, this is not true. This is not true. It is highly corrosive fuming. Yes, it is highly corrosive and fuming. It is not able to dissolve gold and platinum as they are least reactive. The purpose of making this aqua regia is to dissolve gold and platinum because they are not reactive at all. So that means your correct answer will be option number C, 2 and 4. Next question. Which of the following statement is not true about thermite reaction? Okay, it is a highly exothermic reaction. It is used to join railway tracks or cracks in. You need to figure out the not true, the incorrect statement. Focus on that. Yes, it is a highly exothermic reaction. Yes, we use it to join the railway tracks. Aluminum is used in this reaction with iron oxide. Aluminum is a low reactive metal. No, it is not. Aluminum is more reactive than iron, and only because of that reason we are using aluminum. Okay, so the correct answer is, correct option is option number D, my dear kids. Next question. Silver articles become black. Why do silver articles become black? Because of formation of silver sulfide. Because of the formation of silver sulfide. Because we have H2S gas in our environment and we have oxygen also. So we get silver sulfide and water. This is the reaction. Okay. And why? Also copper vessels also turns green. That is because of their reaction with carbon dioxide. So when you have copper lying around, it forms copper, reacts with oxygen, forms copper oxide. And when copper oxide combines with carbon dioxide, we have carbon dioxide, right, in the atmosphere, we get copper carbonate. And this is green in color. This is green in color. Next question. Gold and silver used for making jewelry because they are highly malleable. They are highly malleable and least reactive. They do not react at all and they are malleable, plus they are shiny. Okay, you can draw them into wires, you can draw into sheets, you can beat them into sheets, and they are shiny. Okay, that's why we wear them. A few metals are used for making cooking utensils. Yes, only a few metals. Why? Because any cooking utensil you are using, you need two things. You need then you need to them to have high melting point, right, so that they do not melt when you are cooking your food, and they need to be good conductor of heat so that your fuel gets saved. Okay, because of that reason we use mostly aluminum and copper for cooking our food. Okay, that's why we use aluminum and copper, my dear kids. Next one. Assertion says hydrogen gas is not evolved when a metal reacts with dilute HNO3. The reasoning says because HNO3 is a strong reducing agent, as it reduces hydrogen and itself it gets oxidized. So the assertion is true. Yes, hydrogen gas is not evolved when a metal reacts with dilute HNO3, but that is true only for, there is exception to this rule, right? Because manganese and magnesium do evolve. Because manganese and magnesium do evolve. What do they evolve? They do evolve hydrogen gas when reacting with dilute HNO3. Okay, why? The reason should be HNO3 is a strong oxidizing agent. It is a very strong oxidizing agent because, and due to that, it oxidizes hydrogen to water. It oxidizes hydrogen to water. Okay, and that's why we do not get hydrogen gas, we get water molecule. Okay, so that means our assertion is true. Yes, hydrogen gas is not evolved when a metal reacts with dilute HNO3, except there is one exception. Okay, that is not mentioned here. Okay, but the reasoning is false because HNO3 is a strong oxidizing agent. It is not a strong reducing agent. So that means your correct answer is option number C, my dear kids. Okay, next question. Ionic compounds have high melting and boiling point. Yes, they do, because they have strong intermolecular force of attraction. A considerable amount of energy is required to break the strong inter-ionic attraction. Yes, both assertion and reasoning are true, and reasoning is the correct explanation of assertion. Next question. How many covalent bonds are there in the molecule C6H14? Firstly, what is C6H14? It is hexane. It is hexane, right? So, how many are there? You want to count it with me, or should I tell you the answer straight away? Let me write it for you. Now count the number of bonds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There are 19 covalent bonds. Okay, these all are covalent bonds. There are 19 covalent bonds in hexane. Okay. Next one, triple covalent bond is found in alkynes. Which among these is an alkyne? Alkyne. Now, what is the general formula of alkyne? CnH2n minus 2. Which fits this formula? C3H4, right? CnH2n minus 2, C3H4. If n is equals to 3, we get C3H4, right? Next question. Which statement is not true? Always read your questions properly, okay? So, which statement is not true about the above reaction? This is a hydrogenation reaction. This is an unsaturated fat getting converted into saturated fat. We have to find out the incorrect statement. Fats are formed from vegetable oils. Correct. This reaction is an addition reaction. Correct. This reaction is not an hydrogenation. Yes, this is a hydrogenation reaction. Oils are saturated fatty acids and animal fats are unsaturated fatty acids. Oh, that is incorrect, because oils are unsaturated fatty acids while fats are, animal fats or any fat are saturated fatty acids. So this statement is incorrect, and we are asked about the incorrect statement. Next question. Mani observed the bottom of cooking vessel getting blackened after cooking. Choose the correct possible reasons. So whenever you are cooking, what kind of gas we use? LPG, right? And LPG is saturated. LPG is a saturated fuel, okay? And if the vessel is getting blackened, that means our LPG is not burning properly. The fuel is not burning properly. So that means the incomplete combustion. Fuel used is a saturated hydrocarbon. Yes, LPG is a saturated hydrocarbon. Incomplete combustion of saturated hydrocarbon is happening only because of that the vessel is turning black, my dear kids. So the correct answer is B, 2 and 3. Next question. Rohan found a sweet smelling substance in an ice cream parlor. So what is the sweet smelling substance? You have read in your chemistry, 10th class chemistry. Esters, right? And how do you get esters? Esterification reaction. When ethanol combines with an ethanoic acid, we get ethyl ethanoate, which is an ester. Clear? So that means the sweet smelling substance that he is smelling, it is an ester, ethyl ethanoate. Okay, my dear kids. Next question. Molecular mass of hydrocarbons increases in any homologous series. Members of homologous series are successively increasing by 1 carbon and 2 hydrogen. Yes, whenever we are talking about a homologous series, they have the same general formula, same chemical, same functional group, same general formula, and each consecutive member differ by CH2 unit. Differ by CH2 unit. That means 1 carbon and 2 hydrogen. Okay, and as you are moving in a homologous series, the molecular mass is also increases, right? So that means both are correct. Your correct answer is option number A. Moving on to the next question. Assertion says saturated hydrocarbons will generally give a clean flame on burning. Yes, generally. The word used is generally. Yes, they do. But sometimes they can give yellow flame also if the oxygen supply is not sufficient enough. Unsaturated hydrocarbon will give a yellow flame on burning with lots of black smoke. Yes, they do. But what is the assertion? What is the reasoning? In assertion, we are talking about a saturated hydrocarbon, and in reasoning, we are talking about an unsaturated hydrocarbon. Both statements are correct. But is reasoning the correct explanation of assertion? No. So you need to think about it also. If your assertion and reasoning are connected or not. They are not connected. So assertion is true, reasoning is true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Next question. When soap is dissolved in water, the hydrophilic end of soap interacts with water and the hydrophobic ends interact with oil. That is true. Soaps are effective with soft as well as hard water. So assertion is correct, yes, but reason is wrong, because soaps only works in soft water. They do not work in hard water. What do work in hard water? Detergents, right? Detergents work in hard water. Okay. So assertion is true, but reasoning is false. Your correct answer is option number C. Option number C. Moving on, last question. Did you solve all the questions? Okay. Are you able to get the correct answer for them? Meena and Reena are two friends. They read an article in newspaper that vegetable oils are healthier compared to animal fat. Yes, that is an article. That is a scientific discovery. They asked their chemistry teacher about vegetable oil and animal fat composition. Among vegetable oil, animal fat, which is saturated, which is unsaturated? Vegetable oil is unsaturated. Animal fat is saturated. Animal fat is saturated while vegetable oil is unsaturated. Next one, how hydrogenation of vegetable oils take place. Now how do you do that? We just did it, right? Hydrogenation reaction. You take a vegetable oil, you add hydrogen gas in presence of nickel, platinum or any palladium, nickel, platinum or palladium, okay, and that's how you get vegetable, that's how you get fat, okay. Why hydrogenation is called addition reaction? Because we are adding hydrogen to an unsaturated compound. We are adding 2 hydrogens to an unsaturated compound. Okay, that's why it's called an addition reaction. Why we are advised to not use animal fats? Because it is considered that our body can digest unsaturated compounds very easily compared to saturated compound. Okay, and that's why it is advised you should consume unsaturated fats more than saturated one. Okay, so that was all, my dear kids. I hope you enjoyed it. I solved all the question. All the best for your board exams. And if you want the PDF of this particular and if you want a PDF of these questions, go to the Deeksha Vedantu Class 10 YouTube WhatsApp channel, and there you can find the PDF, my dear kids. All the best. Bye.